Boys in the Burgh, hosted by Chris, JJ, and Andrew Speranza. Welcome to Boys in the Burgh, the podcast all about Pittsburgh. Happy football day today. When this episode comes out, all football games would have been ended for Sunday, and Monday Night Football will be playing. Hello, everybody. I am two-time fantasy football champion, Chris Speranza, and the person I beat last year, Andrew Speranza, is here, still crying.
We're already off to a great start to this episode. Hello, boys. How we doing tonight? Happy Thursday to you all.
Yeah, and JJ is here with us, a person I don't think has ever made the playoffs in fantasy football.
Call me the Steelers because I almost make it. I made it to the playoffs last year. That's it.
Oh, good. You stepped up.
We've only been doing this for
you did
15
something
years.
good for.
Go ahead, Andy. Finish the insult.
No, I'm good.
Okay.
So today we are talking about, we are finishing the trilogy of game day traditions. We talked about game day traditions for Penguins, game day traditions for Pirates, and now it is fall. It's time to talk like Kenny Chesney, the boys of fall, and it is game day traditions for Steeler football games at wonderful, beautifully named Acrisure Stadium.
Ew.
Come on.
I actually, when I was doing research for this episode, I did not even think about it. I typed in Heinz Field like history, and immediately it was like, "Oh, you mean Acrisure?" I was like, "Whoa, easy Google."
In the most pretentious way possible. Get it right.
It says in the comments.
Did you mean Acrisure Stadium, dumbass?
Absolute.
How many of us have been to Steeler games?
I have. I guess just
Believe it
raising
or
my
not.
hand doesn't help.
Boys, I have only been to one.
That's still one. So
Yeah.
that's awesome. Which
Yeah.
one was it? Do you remember?
Oh, this was a while ago. It was a long, long time ago.
I thought you were going to be like, I've been to one Heinz Field game. It's called the Winter Classic.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you know what? All right, let's you know what? I have been to 3 sporting events at Heinz Field, Acrisure Stadium. One of them was football.
Wait, did you go in 2011 and 2017 for the 2 outdoor games?
Yes, I went in
Penguin,
2011
Pens and Caps and Pens and Flyers, right?
Pens and Caps, and then Chris and I went to the Pens and Flyers in 2017.
Mm-hmm. We went to the warmest place there, the bathroom.
I am even not ashamed. I will say this in front of all of our listeners here. I cuddled with Chris in the bathroom, and I was never happier because it was so warm in there.
You did not cuddle with me.
I absolutely did.
I always wondered why you guys were so close.
Some guys walked into the bathroom, and they were like, what the hell's going on here?
Oh, here's the party, boys.
Any room for more?
You're lining Kugels.
It was cold. The thing that
cold.
sucked about that game was, I know we're talking about Steelers, but we'll start off with this. The thing that sucked about that game was the day before it was like 60 degrees in like perfect weather. And then the next day it was like 30 and windy.
Of
And
course.
the worst part about that, too, is that when you were on the first floor, and we could talk about this. This is at Heinz Field, so, this will be the first topic of discussion here. The first level of that stadium wasn't too bad because, you got the second layer to, protect you from the winds. But the fact that we were up there in peanut heaven with the winds going everywhere, and like you said, it was 30 degrees, Chris. Oh my God, I've never been that cold. I've never been that cold before.
Well, allow me to transition into when JJ and I were even colder at Heinz Field. When we is this on your list, JJ?
I actually forgot about this one where we went to watch our sister play in the band at Heinz Field at halftime, and it was what, 2 degrees, 3 degrees maybe?
Oh my God.
Yep, it was like 2 degrees, and I think we had on our little flannel pants that had flannel inside the jeans, and just as heavy a jacket as possible. And I don't think we sat down the whole time, or else we would be even more cold.
We
Oh
literally
my
just
God.
joked the entire time about like kids like on the sideline trying to pull their instruments from their face because their lips got stuck to them. It was so freezing cold outside.
Oh my God.
My tongue is stuck.
Okay, so like, let me ask this: like, did they have to wear like some sort of like uniforms or whatever? Like to the point, so like they couldn't add on extra layers.
No, but they could put on like underlayers because if you think about like the band uniform, it's got like the big shoulders and that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I got you.
They're also straight wool.
Well, true. That's still crazy though. I like the cold, but I don't like the cold that much.
Can I ask you two a question about Heinz Field during the hockey games real quick?
No.
Okay. Moving on. Go ahead, Chris.
Moving on. No, go
yes,
ahead.
Joseph.
You said you're in peanut heaven, and just out of curiosity, because I know it was a really big deal, what was like the ticket price for where you guys were sitting, and did you see what the prices were for further down?
Andy, you paid for the tickets. I just Venmo'd you.
I want to say they were around the ballpark, like $50, give or take.
No, they
like.
weren't.
There's no
Not
way.
for Winter Classic.
There is no
They
way
had to have been like
Chris
100.
actually would have
Okay,
paid
maybe
$50.
if like
I don't believe it that Chris would have paid you money.
I would say maybe like 75. We'll say give or take. I don't think it was $100, but I mean, if we're looking at like, the first level, and you're talking like a couple like first, second row, first, second, third row seats, like then you're getting into the money. But no, I would say part of me wants to say like $80, and that was pretty much it. But then again, I could be wrong, but around that ballpark.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, cool. And so I'm trying to think of like, So Andy's been to one Steelers game, but has been to pretty much 2 Winter Classic games, and Kenny Chesney and Luke Bryan. So just kind of have that. JJ, I for a fact know you've been to 2 Steeler games with me. Any other ones?
Yeah, my buddy Adam had season tickets, so I got to go with him. I think a couple times, maybe once or twice. And I think I was there one other time with like an ex-girlfriend or something like that. But yeah, I've been to a couple games like outside of our adventures.
I have been to 3 Steeler games, and then the Winter Classic games with you, Andy, and of course, lots of Pitt games. I saw Pitt beat ranked Notre Dame when I think Tony Sinceri was the quarterback.
Oh, that's so cool! I was going to ask you guys if you've been to Pitt games.
Mm-hmm. Oh my God, I wish I would have been to the most recent one. Jesus, it was amazing.
That was the most...
For people who don't know, it was Pitt versus West Virginia, the backyard brawl, the first time in 11 years. Holy shit, it did not disappoint. It was the best back and forth game I've seen in a while.
I read somewhere that was the highest attendance of any sports game ever in Pittsburgh.
Wow.
Rightfully so. It was... The game paid off. It's been a while. First of all, a life without football sucks. And Sundays are just the worst. And that game just gave me like a taste. Like, it gave me a taste of just like how great football is. A good Jameis Winston W and just eating it up.
I'm sorry. What does it give you?
No, have you heard of Jameis Winston, the quarterback? He gave like a pregame speech one time, and he held up his 3 fingers like this, and he goes, "You see what this is?" And he starts eating the chips of his fingers, and he goes,
I don't think that was the part that was concerning.
That's a win.
Correct, JJ. Correct.
We're like, no, we get that, but go back a little bit.
What were these noises you were making?
I also want to bring up a quick story because I've been to 3 football games, 2 with, 2 of them or 3 of them with JJ. I don't know.
I think it's
I'm trying to remember.
I think
no, all 3 were with you because we went to. Sorry, I don't know the years, so folks are gonna have to work with me. First that first year was against the Bengals. It was a freezing cold game. Second was like the day before. It was the day after like New Year's. It was against the Browns, and it was like nice and 50 degrees and like sunny. And the other one was my favorite one against the New England Patriots, and we beat a Tom Brady Patriots team.
Wow.
Yeah. But the story of how I got the tickets are amazing. So I was dating a girl at the time, and we're no longer together. We went to Permani's
from the crowd.
Yeah. We went to Permani Brothers for my birthday, and she was with us. And for my birthday, I got 2 tickets for the Steelers Patriots game, and my whole family was there, including JJ. And so I get the 2 tickets. I'm like, this is amazing. And she's like, oh yeah, you're gonna have to bring a friend, like looking at me. And then JJ and I go to the bathroom at the same time, and I'm just like, I'm taking you, right?
I want you to picture that, Andy, like her saying that and Chris turning to her and going, yeah, we have to go to the bathroom. Okay.
Bravo, boys. Bravo.
I think there might have been a fight after that. Probably was, but like, the fuck, she wasn't going to enjoy it. It's just that's not being sexist. Like, she was genuinely not interested in football. So
that'd
like,
be like
she
taking
just
Carissa to roller coaster land.
Yeah, exactly. Like, Carissa would be sitting on a bench, like the whole time.
No, I understand that logic.
I'm glad you remember that moment, JJ, because that was a great moment.
It was. I was sitting there like with wing sauce on my fingers, like, I'm going to a Steelers game. Yay!
After eating your hot wings.
That I didn't have to share.
I was just about to ask what that phrase was. You know what? Order hot wings, so I don't have to share them.
Sir, the term is nom nom.
Sorry. My apologies.
I need to get to another Steelers game somehow. I don't think I'm going to have the money or the vacation time, but I wanted to go to my old hometown, Indianapolis, because the Colts are playing the Steelers in Indy, and I thought that would be a pretty cool road trip, but might not have the time or anything like that.
We thought about doing that down here because they're coming down to the Panthers in Charlotte in December, so we were kind of checking that out.
Neat.
Nice.
So let's talk about my favorite part of Pittsburgh and going to a special event. Could we all say it together?
Oh, no.
1, 2, 3. Parking.
For those of you who like the Facebook post, there you go.
So it's been so long, I don't remember where I parked.
He still parks on Pride Street, even though it's right by PPG Paints Arena. He still parks at Pride Street.
And he takes the T over to the south side and walks over.
Exactly.
I think the T, is that in that loop where you don't have to pay still?
No.
What are we laughing at?
No. Wait.
I forget.
Yeah, you guys are laughing, and I'm being legit. I think
because we're making fun of you for this parking spot that you always like to park at.
That's
for Penguin games, just for Penguin games. For Steeler games, I think that parking garage that's in the middle between PNC Park and Heinz Field, I think that one is special reserved for Steeler games because there hasn't been like a free season ticket thing. I think you got to be on a waiting list until you die, and then you get your season ticket.
I mean, I think the last time we went, like, just park at the casino. That's much closer to Heinz Field than PNC Park, isn't it?
But do they start charging?
Yes. You know, for the longest time they did not charge. What did I do where I had to park? Oh, we went to see Billy Joel at PNC Park, and they gave you like, if you're like some like, you know, if you got like that rewards players club or whatever thing that you got down at the casino, they give you like a coupon for various events throughout the year that says like, okay, if you're asked, like, you know, just show this coupon, you can park there for free. So at one time it was totally fine to do that. Now they're sort of being a little bit more strict about it. But I'm still with you, JJ. That's a really smart idea to park at the casino and just take the extra couple minutes to walk over, or take a bike over or something like that.
And we totally parked at the casino when we went to the Bengals game when we froze our asses off. I believe we went up there and we went right past the security people, like, thanks for the parking, pal. And then we just walked right over to Acrisure Stadium. I'll make it a thing that people say Acrisure.
But if we're referring to it in the past tense, can we call it Heinz Field, or are we like Heinz Field never existed? It's Acrisure.
No, you can say it in the past tense.
Okay.
I'm calling it Three Rivers Stadium.
For sure, it's Acrisure.
I'm calling it Ford Field.
Ford Field. Did you guys see the shirt where it's like Bob Nutting probably has Acrisure insurance?
Oh no,
probably.
That's amazing.
He probably does. So, if anything else, I'm trying to look through notes and kind of see oh yeah, we're on to parking. So, any other parking spots, or are we just leaving it at casino?
No, you can do casino. There's a couple back I shouldn't say back alley, but back parking lots up the streets a little bit, up the North Shore that very cheap parking. I know we parked there a couple times for a Kenny Chesney concert at Heinz Field. Definitely doesn't hurt.
I mean, for Pirates and Steeler games, I like parking on the south side and taking the ferry over because they do it for both, and I think that's kind of cool.
Yes. Why do I always forget about that ferry?
I think it's a cool little we're on the river kind of thing.
Oh no, it's awesome. So I didn't know I had this for this, but I think I might do this. And Andy, we'll probably have to get together and do this. Carissa and I, over Labor Day weekend, went to Deep Creek, Maryland, and we did a lot of kayaking, and it was a lot of fun. I would like to actually kayak on the river now in Pittsburgh, because that would be a fun time too. And I know no one else can see this, but you can hear JJ and Andy's reaction. Look at this sunburn line.
Oh my God. Where's sunscreen, brother? My brother in Christ, where's sunscreen?
For people who don't know, picture a farmer's tan, and that's what it looks like.
Picture a farmer's tan, but the arm is a tomato color.
It was a cloudy day, and I was like, I don't need sunscreen. And that's a mistake.
Do you remember when we went to Virginia Beach and said the same thing, and then all of us died of sun poisoning?
I remember that. So, Andy, we'll have to plan a kayaking trip, because that'll be a fun time.
I'm cool with that. It sounds good.
Yeah, sweet. Okay. What else do I have? Parking downtown, parking at the casino. Who likes the song Renegade?
Like any red-blooded American, I love Renegade.
Honestly, yeah. They played that whenever I was born.
How'd you time it so well? Pause
it. I only remember one time hearing Renegade, and that's when we were at the Patriots game. And of course, after Renegade was played, that's when I believe Lamar Woodley tackled Tom Brady in the backfield and stripped the football out, and that's when Polamalu recovered it. I remember it just like that. It's crazy clear as day how I remember it.
Do you remember in Space Jam whenever Bugs Bunny gives everyone water, but talks it up like it's some crazy sports drink, and they all start playing out of their minds?
Michael's Secret Stuff?
That's our Renegade, but it's Ben's Secret Stuff.
Oh man.
It's Art's favorite stuff.
Renegade played on the coaster in Kennywood as you're going up the lift hill on the steel curtain.
I wouldn't know, unfortunately.
Yeah, you were supposed to ride it with me. You're going to be missing Kennywood Fright Night. JJ, you got to come back from North Carolina.
We're planning on eventually coming back up for a little bit, and when we do, it's going to be what all can we do in one time?
Come during a Fright Night weekend.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Okay.
That'd be fun.
Yeah,
I got my annual pass, so I just go in whenever.
Do you sometimes just walk in and turn around and go and walk out and go, because I can, and go to your phone?
Amazing flex.
I will say here has been my here has been my Kennywood routine since having a pass. I go in there, I ride everything within like the morning for the first 4 hours. I eat something disgusting and I get an upset tum tum and then I leave.
What an adventure.
That's every time. I spend no more than 4 hours in Kennywood every time I go.
Has it
Which is-
ruined anything for you?
Made me realize how small it is because you could get everything done like in a day, and like they had rides like the Raging Rapids closed all season, and like
What?
yeah, that Steel Curtain coaster was down a majority of the time. I mean, the Bites and Pines Festival was great. I'm not gonna lie, that was worth the admission, worth the pass itself. But
Yeah.
other than that, I feel like I got my money's worth, and I could still get into Fright Nights and Holiday Lights, so that's pretty.
I want to go to
exciting.
Holiday Lights.
Yeah, I want to do that too. You know what I was going to say real quickly here is that like I feel like the past couple of times I've been to Kennywood, and like they haven't really been recent, but the past 2 or 3 times I've been there, the Steel Curtain has always been closed. Always.
Yeah.
This episode is sponsored by Anchor. Have you ever heard of Anchor by Spotify? It is the easiest way to make a podcast with everything you need in one place. Anchor has the tools to allow you to record and edit your podcast right from your phone or computer. When hosting on Anchor, you can distribute your podcast on listening platforms such as Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and many more. It's what you need to make a podcast in one place, and best of all, it is totally free. Download the Anchor app or go to Anchor.fm to get started. Now back to the show.
I've noticed that too.
Well, so here's what happened. I became patient 0 last time I was at Kennywood. What happened was I wasn't feeling well, but I decided to push myself to go to Kennywood. And I was just like, okay, like it's pass holders get free ice cream today. I'm gonna go. So,
I'm dying of sickness, but there's free ice cream, so I'm going.
So I went to Kennywood with my mom, and because passes were cheap, and so we ride the Steel Curtain first thing in the morning. And my mom goes, the park's not open yet because pass holders got an hour early. She said, let's ride it one more time. And I was like, okay. And I rode it one more time, feeling like I was about to pass out. I rode the Phantom's Revenge, and the ride went way too fast. And it was the first time I was terrified on a roller coaster I was going to fall out. and then I got home and passed out. Next morning, tested positive for COVID.
Oh, that's great.
That's not good.
There's a possibility I rode like all those rides while tested positive for COVID, just to let people know I didn't know I had it like everyone else. So
Kennywood's now a hot spot thanks to you.
In the words of Dave Chappelle,
Jackass.
I killed a lot of motherfuckers.
Oh my god.
But it was horrible. I wouldn't suggest having COVID and going on coasters.
Wow. Good advice.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah. Well, Heinz Field, am I right, folks?
Yeah, we got way off topic there. We never go off topic.
Oh, hang on one second. Good.
Oh,
Yes,
no, you're fine. Okay, you're fine. So, yeah, Renegade is a really good song. I know myself, who used to work at Yinzer's, like, there's lots and lots and lots of vendors selling pretty shitty shirts that are like $12. So, have you guys ever encountered this? Nope.
I'm so
Nope.
sorry. Say it again.
No, you're fine. So there's a shit ton of vendors that are always down there selling like shitty shirts. And
Oh, yeah.
Obviously the big seller is probably going to be the Kenny Pickett shirts. Spelt with one less T so they don't like break licensing rules.
I always like the Calvin and Hobbes kid who he's just like taking a piss in a toilet, and it has like the Ravens face and the Browns face and stuff like that in the toilet. It's like, yeah, eat shit. It's like, okay, vendors. Go back
The
to the strip district.
Yeah, the real popular shirts that were very classy to wear said "fuck Tom Brady," and
Wow.
the UCK was covered by the diamonds on the Steelers logo,
That's so classy.
or the
It really
diamonds from
is,
the Steelers
honestly.
logo.
I'm going back to Aspinwall after this game. Hang my shirt up.
I'm gonna pick up my kid from elementary school. You guys have kid sizes.
Jesus.
Some vendors down there selling pretty obscene shirts, and lots of Kenny Pickett shirts being sold today. So, isn't that fun?
Which, I mean, the kid's in second now, right? Like it's Trubisky, then him, and then Mason Rudolph.
Mason Rudolph has had the worst Steelers career, or worst luck Steelers career of all time. He was originally on the depth chart for number 2, and then Tomlin was like, "Oh shit, I made a mistake," and he put Pickett ahead of him. I read something that was like Rudolph was like, got carted off a field with his face mask taken off. He was hit in the head with a helmet. He was moved from 2 to 3. He has had the worst luck Steelers career of like all time, like since
Honestly.
Tommy Maddox.
Did you guys see the thing where it was like, Mike Tomlin was taking forever to name a starting quarterback for week 1? Like they were just like, oh, Kenny Pickett, Mitch Trubisky, Mason Rudolph, who is it? And then like it was like, surprise, we have our decision, and it's Ben.
Big Ben was showing up on our fantasy draft.
Was he really?
Yeah.
However, impressive.
I want to redo the draft. I want to take Landry Jones in the first round.
Oh yeah,
and Frank Gore.
And Frank Gore. And Mike Wallace.
Charlie Batch, get your ass out of that booth. Start throwing some balls.
Who was the guy you had last year? Not to go off on a thing, but who was the guy you had last year that you put in like 3 times and he got you like 80 points, and then he like got 2 points here, 3 points here, and you were like, "Oh, I hate this guy."
Me or Chris?
Andy.
Oh.
Williams?
Sounds like a rough.
It was
He was on the chart.
Oh, you're not talking about quarterbacks. You're talking about wide receivers.
Yeah.
Was it AJ Brown?
Mike Williams.
Mike Williams. That was it. Oh, Mike Williams had the best start ever.
You didn't draft him.
I you know what? I'm good. Whoever has him, Godspeed. Because you know what? That man pissed me off.
I had him. I was eyeballing him, and I was like, nah, I'll pass him up. I'll get Ezekiel Elliott. He's more consistent.
Oh, yeah, that back end RB2.
Oh, man. For people who don't know, we did have a fantasy football podcast that really wasn't advertised or promoted. So if you guys ever want to go back and look up the It's a Family Thing fantasy football podcast, the main title, or the main whatever you want to call it, the picture that I use is just a shitty picture of the old WWE tag team titles with me putting it on Instagram and putting like words around it and then taking a screenshot of that.
Oddly enough, we were more popular overseas in like Germany and Yugoslavia and Turkmenistan.
We were like, Germany wants to know more about the United States, but first they need to know what quarterback to start in week 7.
That was a fun podcast. I like this one better, obviously, but that was a fun podcast.
It was a good time. The only other note I really have is I remember being in Cub Scouts and watching Three River Stadium get torn down.
Yeah, Andy, were you? I don't know if you were able to see that, but Chris and I got to go to the top of a really nice skyscraper and watch it like implode from the top of the skyscraper.
Really?
It went down to the ground.
Which is ironic because they imploded it in 2001.
Stop it.
Jesus. Oh, all right. We're moving on. We're moving on from that.
I have some history if you guys want me to.
I don't know if I want to hear this history.
Slightly less racy.
Oh my god. I'm still not over that. I can actually feel the awkwardness.
So obviously, as Andy said earlier in the podcast, it was Three Rivers Stadium. It was used for both the Steelers and Pitt and the Pirates and like other stuff. And they split it up into two, obviously two stadiums for PNC Park and the Steelers Stadium. So it opened. Sorry. It opened August 18th, 2001, after the implosion at Three Rivers Stadium. Pause for effect.
Go ahead, keep trying to power through this.
It was named Heinz Field at the beginning based on H.J. Heinz Company, and it was changed in February 22 to Acrisure. It cost $281 million to build, and that was back in 1999, 2001 when they did it. Let's see. And because they wanted to have a nod to Pittsburgh being the Steel City, it was made with 12,000 tons of steel.
And it's wild to think now, the newer stadiums like the stadium in Los Angeles and Atlanta, and that's like the future of stadiums coming up.
Mm-hmm. It's true. In Chicago.
But if that plan goes through.
Oh, that's true. If it goes through. But
like the stadium. I'm sorry. You go ahead.
No, you're good. They have 65,050 seats, and they have been sold out. Every single home game has been sold out since 1972.
But
wow,
how do you get 70,000 people in there for that Pitt game?
That's a good question.
Standing room only and stuff like that. I'm sure they do standing room.
Well,
I bet you they counted I bet you they counted the concession stand worker, like how they do for WrestleMania to make it seem impressive. They're like, they really have like 30,000 people, and they're like, you're a person in this arena, like a security guard, and they'll be like, he counts as attendance.
They count
Janitor, what's your name? Count this man.
I'm not real. You're real today.
Yeah, you're real today.
And
did
you see that man that was in the bathroom? John, that bathroom's been closed for
40 years.
It's been sold out since 1972 with Steelers yearly ticket holders. If that makes sense.
Okay, that makes sense.
It's like when you buy tickets, it's typically from a season holder who's just putting up for sale.
Mm-hmm. I will say, when I went to Pitt football games, when I went to school in 2015, 2014, 2013, I sounded like I was crazy for a second. Like 2011 to 2015. Yeah. That's when Pitt stuff. And I would go to the games and it would just be, empty. And it would just be me and whoever else that was there. Ziggy, my old roommate. Here's a fun thing. He got a picture with a man dressed like Batman and another man dressed like Abraham Lincoln.
There you go.
All he needed was a picture with Luke Skywalker. He would have an away team.
Yeah.
Any other history?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So there's one thing we didn't mention, and that is that along with Pitt games, Steeler games, the Winter Classics, and concerts, Heinz Field also hosts the WPIAL Championships, which is the high school football championships every year. And they also host college graduations.
Whoa, I didn't know that. And weddings.
Yep, weddings. CCAC has their graduation ceremony at Heinz Field.
Wow.
Very nice.
I know our alma mater for high school, Penn Trafford, they won the PIAA. So they had to go through the WPIAL Championships to get to the PIAA Championships in Hershey.
Are you serious?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Dang, okay.
Yeah. Look at those Warriors go. Our Warrior home.
Yeah, and then there's East Allegheny,
And
which is known for having a Permane Brothers.
that is true. Speaking of
What, in
Permanis,
North for Sales?
food.
Yeah, I was just joking though. Like, what? I don't know what East
Oh.
Allegheny is known for. Actually, I don't even think you went to East Allegheny.
No, my sister did, but I was thinking for myself, like, was there a Permanis in East Allegheny High School?
No, North for Sales. Sorry.
No, that's what I was thinking.
Food. Speaking of food, do you have any like foods that you have to eat down there? There's none that come to my mind, but I just figured I'd throw that out there.
Andy, you go first because you've been there a little bit recently than us.
A
Permane sandwich. That's
yeah.
about
I
it.
mean, I was like, there's really like pretty much anything you get at like a Penguins game or Pirates game, you can also get at Heinz Field. I mean, like, I don't know. I like you said, Chris. I don't really think there's a whole lot of like significant.
I will.
Are you trying to speak right now?
I don't know what that was, but so Katie and I went to a Steelers
Neither do
game.
we.
We went to a Steelers game earlier in the year. I think it was like January or February, and it was the first time that like I mean, Chris and I have gone to Steelers games, and typically when we went, we were broke, so we'd get like a snack here or there, or maybe a sandwich. But Katie and I walked in with like 2 full-time job monies in our pocket, and went, "What do you want to get?" And we got like beer, nachos, hot dogs. Like we got the smorgasbord, and it was like, this is like if a kid version of me can look at me now, he'd be like high-fiving, like, dude, yes, this is amazing.
For a drink, did you get lemonade?
No, those are Pirate games.
I know. I just wanted to incorporate that man who passed away also recently.
Guess who else passed away today?
The Queen.
The Queen.
England, yeah.
God save the Queen.
So sad. So crazy.
It is.
I know. Now let's do what everyone else does. Make it about ourselves and blame the year.
Same year that took Betty White.
The only other notes I have is if there's any tailgating stories. I talked about the Patriots game, the Browns game, the Bengals game. What we do in cold weather, which is stand the whole time. I was gonna cut off this episode, but usually I wait for Andy to cut me off to say something.
I
what do you have to add, Andy?
I have one tailgating story.
Yes, please.
Okay, I don't remember the exact details, but this was unfortunately it was not a Steelers game. It was a Kenny Chesney concert, but this was 6-7 years ago, something like that. Me and Chris went to see Kenny Chesney, but before we went in, Kenny Chesney, the sweaty cowboy.
Thank you.
Shut up, JJ.
Ow. Okay, go ahead.
We went to see Kenny Chesney at Heinz Field, and before we walked in, we decided to meet up with your brother Nick for a tailgate. Now,
he was drunk. Yes.
This was the first time I ever saw Nick drunk, and it's pretty funny because Nick being drunk is just like, I don't know how to describe it, but let me put it this way. We got there, he's talking to us, right? He's talking to us, and he turns to me. He's like, "Andy, you want anything to eat?" I'm like, "No, man, I'm good. Like, I'm all good. We ate before we came here." Okay, all right, that sounds good. Next couple minutes goes by. We're all hanging out. 5 minutes later goes by. Nick comes back. "Andy, you want something to eat?" "No, Nick, I'm good. I'm full. We stopped at Subway. I'm good. I don't need anything to eat." "Okay, man. All right, no problem. Sounds good." Couple more beers goes into Nick, and then he drunkenly comes up to me and slurs his words. He's like, "Andy, listen, man. You want something to eat?" I'm like, "Nick, I'm good. Leave me the hell alone." And then after that, it just went downhill.
Oh, Nick.
That's my story.
What a funny gentleman.
I love that dude.
I
So you
love the
never
man.
got something to eat from him then, huh?
No, he never. Well,
I
after
didn't.
the
All I
concert, we
wanted
went-
was a potato chip, and he would not give it to me. No, I'm kidding.
Was he like holding over your head like, you hungry? Because that would be a
You have to be
thing
quicker
to do.
than that.
What?
You have to be quicker than that.
Well, we gotta be quicker than that. I got you $1.
So, are we all good, fellas? Can I say it?
Well, let's see. Do I have any other notes? Were you guys? No, I guess none of us were old enough to go to any Steelers games back at Three River Stadium.
I was.
Maybe I went to one. Maybe with mom and dad. I don't remember.
I remember our neighbor used to have a thing on his back. Remember it like in his garage or on his back shed or something like that? But it was chairs from Three River Stadium.
Yeah. Our neighbor lured us into his garage. With a shed.
And that was the first time.
That was the first time. Here, pull down this seat.
It's your pants. No, I'm just
No.
kidding.
Show us on
They
this white
look like
comedian
them,
where
I
the
don't
man
think-
touched you. Wait, quick side note. John Mulaney's coming to Pittsburgh in a couple weekends, and I'm so excited to see him.
And I'm sitting next to you.
Yeah, we don't need to go into that story.
Yes, we do.
All right, fine. Real quick. I decided to buy tickets for me and a couple friends to go to John Mulaney. I put them on my Instagram story like, hey, John Mulaney, we'll see you in a couple weeks. Chris says, I have an idea. Then he goes on to Ticketmaster and buys the tickets that are right next to my seats. And he sends me a message like 5 minutes later like, we'll see you there, man. Crazy
Did you
ex-girlfriend
look at him and
things.
say, what a Speranza thing to do?
Honestly, that is a very Speranza thing to do. Yeah. So I will be spending my evening with my friends and also Chris.
Well, if you want to make it even creepier, I had to have a pre-sale code as well. to get the ticket.
Christ.
That is
Oh,
amazing.
no.
They just give out the pre-sale codes on Instagram now. They don't give a shit.
Yeah,
Like,
no.
you don't have to do anything special.
No, they'll just tell you.
Yeah, exactly. And just like how we're going to see John Mulaney, we're going to get out.
Oh,
Sorry, that wasn't Pittsburghy. Sorry. Get out.
There you go.
You got to worship your accent there.
Yeah, worship my accent in that. At Deep Creek, Maryland, there was a guy with a big long beard and long white hair who was like yelling at kids, going, "Hey, yin's got again where I can see you in that."
True Pittsburghese right there.
You didn't walk up to that man and say, "Do you like the Penguins by any chance?"
No, because when I like to travel, I like to not talk to people from Pittsburgh. But you can listen to us on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. Be sure to leave us a comment and a 5-star review. Follow at Boys in the Burgh on Instagram and Twitter for the latest updates and newest episodes. Your podcast can look and sound better today by using Riverside.fm because it's used by all the biggest companies in the biz. And you can sound and look better today by clicking on the link in the show notes. So, JJ, go ahead, say that thing that you always say and sign us at.
Always a pleasure, never business.